previous meetings, including one in the group stage just a week ago, a 1-0 win for the U.S. The lone Mexico win, as we showed you in the semifinal back there in 2013 in the semis. And the U.S. looking to not only raise the trophy, but get another win against their CONCACAF rivals in Mexico as the teams back out onto the field. And one change for the U.S. with Kennedy Wesley is, if you weren't with us in the opening 45 minutes, looks like she picked up maybe a little bit of a hyperextended knee, trying to track down a ball and landing awkwardly. So Izzy Rodriguez, the defender from Canton, Michigan, who plays for the Michigan Hawks, will get an opportunity to step in here in the second half. No changes to tell you about for Mexico, as the whistle from Marie-Soleil Baudouin gets us into the second half of play, and the U.S. with a 1-0 lead, now attacking in the red shorts and red socks from left to right across your screen. Here inside of Grenada Athletic Stadium, Mexico with the green socks and green tops. They'll defend the goal to our right. Kendra D. St. Aubin, Mark Rogandino back here with you as we put the finishing touches on this 2016 edition of the CONCACAF U-17 Women's Championship. 5th edition of this competition, of which the U.S. have won twice and Mexico has won once. Morena stepping forward from the left back spot to try and keep the ball this end of the field. The U.S. will clear.
When taking a look again at that one change, we had the change, but we also have Izzy Rodriguez sliding to the left side and Spanstra sliding to the right. So Kennedy Wesley was in the right back position. She comes out of the game. Spanstra switching sides of the field there. And now she'll be in the right back spot with Rodriguez on the left.
Ramirez will shepherd that one all the way back for Miriam Aguirre in goal for Mexico. If you're just joining in, it was Ashley Sanchez with a 43rd minute strike, her 5th of the tournament. She actually had scored in every one of the 3 Group B games, but was held without a goal in the semifinal win against Canada. Savannah Coleman sending that one forward.
When we talked about the versatility of this U.S. roster, continuing a little bit on those changes, as Wiesner then will move up into the left midfield position with Izzy Rodriguez in the left back position, and Spanstra moving from the left midfield to the right back. So that just shows you right there, we talked about their ability to defend and attack on both sides of the field, and we saw it right there with these changes.
Here is Wiesner pushing past Soto, cropping into the area, looking for Canev. She'll play it back out top, looking for Pinto. And now here is Spanstra. I mean, what a luxury for BJ Snow, the fact that he can plug different players in different spots and interchange parts at different places on the field.
And nobody misses a beat. I think that's the important part. There's no awkwardness, and we've talked about it quite a bit. Everybody clearly with the ability to defend. All over the field, 1v1, tracking back. We've seen the forwards do it quite a bit. Forwards defending used to be like shocking, but not these days.
Like Haley's Comet. It came like once every 1,000 years.
Exactly. These days, if you don't defend starting in the front, you may not find yourself on the field. There's no standing around waiting for the ball to just drop at your feet.
Sanchez, good collection there. Leaves it for Pinto, a little tangle up between the 2 U.S. players. Brianna Pinto circles away from the pressure from Mexico. And now Jalen Howe, chance to open up the hip and keep it all the way going here to this near side. Back for Rodriguez. A little more high pressure than we saw from Mexico as the ball came all the way back for Ivory. Ball bounces over the head of Ovalle. Spanstra trying to shield it. Ovalle gets away from a couple of U.S. defenders, crossing onto the back post, but headed away by Izzy Rodriguez. See if Sanchez can bring this down near the center circle. Nice little flick forward looking for Coleman. And here is Karina Rodriguez to send it up this right side. Delgado, the Mexico captain, spins out from pressure, plays it into the feet of Reina Reyes. Now back here for Delgado. Hernandez, Delgado. Mexico finding it difficult once they get to that position on the field to find the penetrating ball to get through and in behind the U.S. back four. Rodriguez will touch it back for Laurel Ivory, and she pumps it out to midfield. And it almost seems like, Kendra, that's where they miss a dynamic player like a Savannah Coleman or like an Ashley Sanchez to be able to break one player down 1v1 and then create a mismatch, drawing a second defender in or getting into space for somebody else. Rodriguez on the back post to clear that one away for the U.S.
And on the rare occasion that somebody on the U.S. gets beat defensively, especially in that back line, the second defender is almost immediately in position every time. So even though this tournament they haven't had to do a lot of first and second defending in that back line, when they've had to, like we saw just there, they've been able to pick up the slack and cover for each other defensively.
Coleman had it knocked off of her feet. Howell trying to keep the possession in this end. And Savannah Coleman with a reckless challenge from behind to give a free kick here for Mexico.
Good call, I think, by the official on this one, at least in real time. Tough to see too much from that camera angle, but Coleman trying to be aggressive in that defense we just talked about. That starts at the front, maybe a little bit too aggressive.
Kendra, what'd you pick out in the opening 45, now 50 minutes of play for the U.S. that you liked, maybe that they should pull for more here in the second half?
Well, every single game that we've seen in this tournament, including this one today, they've been able to break free in that offensive third of the field with those through balls, the slicing and dicing on that back line, trying to just break through that Mexico defense. Coleman and Sanchez, and then, of course, Wiesner and Spanstra coming up the wings. They've been able to do that against every single opponent, and they did it again in the first half and capitalized on a mistake. You get one really great opportunity and you finish. You can't ask for much more than that.
Wiesner with a good tackle there to knock it out. It'll be a Mexico throw just inside of the U.S. half. As Ashley Soto looking to play quickly here.
I'll tell you right now, neither of these teams is playing like they already have a position in the World Cup. They are playing like they want to win this game and walk away with the trophy. You stay there for 2 weeks and you work that hard, you don't want to walk away with a second place finish, even though you know you're already going to the World Cup in Jordan.
I felt I had to pose that question to BJ Snow, only because you already know, I mean, the goal is to win a World Cup, and if you're already in, how much is there exactly to play for? As Sanchez releases that shot, a follow-up opportunity. Now it's Coleman, and parried away by Aguirre. It took a little bit of a bad hop on the Mexico keeper, and thus giving the U.S. their second corner on the night.
Well, in Mexico defensively, just getting peppered. A couple defenders sticking their foot out, blocking some shots. Sanchez got two off Coleman in the end, and Aguirre parries that one away out the end line for a corner kick. Do you think she should have held on to that one, or is that pretty much all she could do with it to get it out the end line for a corner?
I thought it took a bad hop off the surface, so good job by her to at least just give away the corner and not give up a second chance opportunity immediately. Howell spinning onto her right foot. And could not quite get over the top of that one as it goes up and over the Mexico goal. And going back to the story with BJ Snow, I mean, he was pretty clear to say right away, as you were there, Kendra, well, this is for a trophy. I mean, this is for a CONCACAF championship, which was a great point. And certainly not to be overlooked with already obtaining probably the major goal, which is getting to the World Cup.
And like we said, you work that hard, you're there for that long, you put that time and energy, and especially, here in the United States, it's all about winning the championship. You don't want to just make it there, you want to win it. So if you're going to work that hard and put that time and energy, and you might as well walk away with a first place finish.
The U.S. won it in 2008 down in Trinidad and Tobago, and then again in 2012 in Guatemala City. It was Mexico in 2013 down in Jamaica winning the crown in CONCACAF. Third corner of the night and first of the second half upcoming here for Mexico.
And there's Avaya once again using her speed. Spanstra staying with her step for step. But she gets the corner kick, something that Coach Chris Cuellar was hoping for. Get to the end line, serve those balls in, get them in the box. Only good things can happen.
Driven all the way onto the back post. And his body's tangled up inside the 6-yard box. I think it was Jalen Howe who was pushed down on the surface. And the whistle will give the U.S. a free kick in their own penalty area. And it looks like Mexico preparing to make a change of their own here with 7-8 minutes gone in the second half.
I think it's always tough to blow the whistle in the 18-yard box on a corner kick like that. Bodies are kind of flying everywhere, so unless it's something completely blatant, and Howell doesn't go down easily, so the referee saw something inside that 6-yard box.
Rodriguez, the first substitute on the night for the U.S. to come in and replace Kennedy Wesley. Knocked out by Alessandro Ramirez. Luisa Delgado, a future Stanford commit, and plays for Real SoCal out in Southern California, and she will replace Mari Carmen Reyes, who goes about 55 minutes and change here tonight in the central midfield.
And just another one of those solid pieces. We didn't say her name much because it seemed like Delgado had the ball a little bit more in on the attack more. You're saying Hernandez, Espinosa, Cazares, and Ovalle quite a bit, but Reyes kind of holds her ground there in the defensive midfield position.
See if some fresh legs might provide a little bit of a spark here for Mexico. Long distance shot, and Aguirre will parry that away. And to answer your question, yes, she should have caught that.
I'm looking for your goalkeeper expertise on some of these because clearly not my strength. I mean, the United States has the ability to hit some lasers and Howell, but it's kind of that weird thing where she hits it with the palms of her hands. She's not punching it away. She's not catching it maybe an in-between. And a corner kick for the U.S.
Third corner on the night for the U.S. Lofted onto the heart of the area and headed just over the top of the crossbar. I think it was Howell coming in again. So she had the shot denied just a moment ago, and she comes in to the edge of the 6 to head that one, but it goes over the bar.
And again, the United States so strong in the air, just not able to get up and over it to head it down.
Jalen Howe along with Sophia Smith, the two ladies that come from Real, Colorado. And she has committed to Florida State when her time comes to go to the next level. Reina Reyes sends that out for a U.S. throw. Spanish struck quickly into the feet of Savannah Coleman, but had it knocked away by Kimberly Rodriguez. The immediate pressure on the ball, much more apparent so far here in almost 15 minutes of the second half. As soon as Mexico gets the ball, there seems to be a defender for the U.S. right up on top of things. Savannah Coleman will find the loose ball 35 yards out from the Mexico goal. Pinto cannot connect with Coleman on the return pass. And Espinosa will lay it off here for Cazares. Sanchez gets away from one, had a shirt tug from behind. And no whistle, a little bit surprising there.
I'm surprised she didn't play advantage and then whistle it back, because she did. She definitely had a shirt tug. Then it looked like Sanchez was maybe going to retain possession, but she didn't. That seemed to me it should have been whistled back outside of the box.
Delgado. Luisa Delgado and Alexia Delgado, who wears the captain's band, patrolling the central midfield now for Mexico. And this is Daniela Espinosa, trying to play into the feet of Hernandez under pressure. Luisa Delgado, who just stepped on, playing wide for Reyes and out of the reach of the left back. A throw to the U.S.
That one just kind of took a bit of a bad hop right over the foot of Reyes, but you can see Mexico still so composed on the ball. They're trying to get their passing going. and create offensively when they do get it. Whereas the last match against the United States, it was just a lot of long ball, direct ball, trying to find Espinosa and Hernandez up top all by themselves, and then nobody was getting forward to support. So a different match for Mexico in that sense.
Jordan Caniff, the youngest player on the U.S. roster, making her second straight start in a wide midfield role. Sanchez steps in front to win the ball initially. Had it kicked away from behind. And Ovalle will just send it long up top, hoping for somebody there for Mexico. Luisa Delgado wins the first ball in the midfield.
Ooh,
playing
nice.
into space here for Ovalle. Karina Rodriguez had the inside track the entire time. Tried to shield it out of play. Fouled from behind.
When I like the through ball idea there is just stepping on the field, and then you can see, I mean, Rodriguez trying to shield the ball, not expecting maybe the pressure from Ovalle. She was waiting for that ball to roll out over the end line. Instead, Ovalle commits the foul and really allows the United States to get out of pressure.
Hour gone here inside of Grenada Athletic Stadium in St. George's. And the U.S. with a 1-0 lead with a late first half strike from their captain, Ashley Sanchez. But certainly looking for an insurance goal to at least feel a little more comfortable heading into these final 30 minutes. Spanstra trying to play back into space for Savannah Coleman. Long ball forward for Mexico, headed away by Karina Rodriguez. Pinto could not handle it, but pushed back forward by the U.S. defense. Oh, a nice bounce here for Savannah Coleman. 2 versus 1. And she couldn't slip it back across. Good defending from Kimberly Rodriguez, the center back, who came over to cut the pass out.
Well, and she lunged for that one, just got her foot on it. Good defensive play there.
In behind here for Espinosa, run off the ball by Naomi Girma. Mexico pleading for a whistle there, but it was just good shoulder-to-shoulder contact from Girma, the highly touted center back from Northern California. Good turn there from Ovalle. She's been electric on this left side, everything but the final pass, which eventually trickles into the hands of Ivory.
When it was tough to know if she's passing that in or shooting it, but nonetheless, it was a passing pace, but on frame like a goal. It looked like there's that play against Espinosa, just good shoulder-to-shoulder contact. I think it was a good no call. And you could see, I think she's trying to bend that ball out back a little bit away from the keeper and hoping one of her teammates is running on. She doesn't have the energy right now, I think, to take that ball all the way end line. She's been doing so much work on the near flank.
Speaking of work, Ashley Sanchez continues to put it in. 5 goals now in the tournament, including what stands to be the game winner here tonight. Coleman trying to turn the corner in the battle of the 2 number 14s. Cross headed away, right down for Jacqueline Ovalle.
When we asked BJ Snow if there were any particular players or things he could point to on this team outside of the people that always show up on the stat sheet, and he was really proud of everybody on this team. He talked about the center backs, of course, the central midfielders. Everybody's just been so solid in every situation, no matter where he's put them, that it was hard for him to pick out any one player or even a specific group of players, whether it be defense or midfield. With the youngsters he's thrown on there, I mean, you can't really say enough about this team stepping up, not knowing how they're going to react in their first international tournament for most of them. And
as you and I were talking before we came on the air, I was looking as Frankie Tagliaferri steps up in between the benches, and will replace Jordan Kenneth, the youngster on the roster here for BJ Snow. But I was looking for maybe him to shed a little light on those two kind of defensive center midfielders in Pinto and Howe, and just all the work that they've done. Yeah, they haven't been on the score sheet in these games down here in Grenada, but how much territory they cover and how much they allow the players in front of them to go free is really something that should get the spotlight. Tagliaferri gets in behind. Big save from Aguirre. Sanchez trying to follow it up. How would that have been for an entrance for Frankly Tagliaferri?
Would we really have been surprised, though? I mean, she seems to come in almost immediately every time and make her mark, finding herself in the right place at the right time, putting herself in the right place at the right time. When she comes upon the ball or is in the right spot, it's not due to luck. It's due to hard work and just really knowing the game and reading it, knowing her teammates.
Exploded with 4 goals in about 20 minutes of game action in the opening game against Jamaica in Group B play a little more than a week ago. Delgado trying to spring the attack up and over the top there for Jacqueline Ovalle. Rodriguez is there, and in fact she will earn a goal kick for the U.S. as she knocks it off of the attacking player for Mexico. So 2 of the 3 changes used by BJ Snow. Here comes the second on the night for Mexico. Diana Cáceres, maybe not as influential as she was in the substitute role when we saw her a week ago.
Well, you know, I think she poured it on in the first half, was getting a lot of touches on the ball, but I don't think we've mentioned her name one time in the second half of this match. The ball just not finding the left flank for Mexico. It's really been, I shouldn't say the right flank for Mexico, as they've been in on the attack on the opposite side quite a bit.
And so it's Gabriela Juarez, the other forward, in addition to Espinoza and Montserrat Hernandez, listed on the roster for Mexico. With the success of Espinoza and Hernandez, there hasn't been a ton of minutes available for Juarez. Approaching the midway point of this second half here inside Grenada Athletic Stadium, and the U.S. still holding with the 1-0 lead that came in the 43rd minute through Ashley Sanchez, Mark Rogandino, Kendra D. St. Aubin, and the rest of our Fox Sports crew. Glad to have you along as we crown another champion in the CONCACAF Under-17 Women's Champion here tonight. Free kick here for Mexico. Lofted in toward the penalty spot. Karina Rodriguez first there to win it and send it back where it came from. Izzy Rodriguez will send it up towards midfield, but the U.S. still with all numbers back behind the ball, defending the last set piece. Coleman stepped in to win the loose ball. Now forward here for Tagliaferri. Ashley Sanchez central there. The pass goes right onto Sanchez's foot, gets by the first defender, trying to cut back. Aguirre comes strong. The 2 players collide. And again, it's the Mexican under-17 keeper making herself big, coming out to make the save against the talented Ashley Sanchez. Well,
if there's one thing you notice about both of these teams is nobody is afraid to go in hard to a tackle. No one holds up from contact, whether it's with the keeper, whether it's a forward. Everybody making a full commitment, and Ashley Sanchez trying to get her second of the night.
Meanwhile, the U.S. will have their 4th corner of the night, 3rd of the second half now. Initial ball won by Mexico. Espinoza furthers it on up the field. And then the follow-up ball into the hands of Miriam Aguirre. Rodriguez first to push it away. Izzy Rodriguez trying to keep it going towards the center circle. And here's Ashley Soto pushing forward. Good cross in for Hernandez. Pulls it down, keeps it going across here for Ovalle for the corner! And it's 1-1! She had the game winner against Jamaica in a 1-0 win, and now she has the equalizer against the U.S.
First, a ball in, a beautiful touch, 2 touches there, right in the middle of the field by Hernandez. She finds Ovalle on that far side, 1 clean touch, and she rifles it. She picks out her spot. The ball's bending away from the keeper. And the reaction by the team, the bench, the coaching staff, unbelievable. And just a beautiful goal. I mean, that started from that right flank where we just said the ball hadn't been much. And a good job, teamwork, offensively, just moving the ball across the field and Ovalle taking her opportunity. She's been crossing the ball, serving the ball in all day. And that one she hits with authority on frame.
And that goal, her second of the tournament, brings a shutout streak of almost 400 minutes, 398 minutes for the U.S. since they gave up that first half goal in their first group game against Jamaica. It brings it to a close. And now all of a sudden, heading into the final 20 minutes, things get a little more interesting for B.J. Snow and the U.S. under-17s. 5th corner of the game, on toward the back post, looking for the Olympico there, but it's headed away by Mexico. Wow, a huge goal for Mexico. The left foot of Jacqueline Ovalle was perfectly placed into the corner.
Well, and the 2 touches right there by Hernandez, the cross, and nobody took an extra touch. Nobody took too many touches, trying to be too perfect. Everything was clean on that play, starting from the right wing, and just a beautiful finish.
Well, from a fan perspective, Kendra, you really couldn't ask for more. Mexico gets themselves right back in it with an equalizer here in the second half. And now the onus is on the U.S. to show indeed that they can respond to a bit of adversity, something they don't experience too often. Remember, it was 1-1 in the semifinals back in 2013 down in Jamaica when these two teams met, eventually going to penalty kicks with Mexico prevailing 4-2 in penalties. Madison Haley had the lone strike for the U-17s in that 2013 edition. Sanchez playing it wide.
Remember, just moments before Mexico came down and scored, Sanchez almost had another goal of her own with that collision with the goalkeeper. So it's just showing you in this game how quickly things can change on both ends. And here another opportunity where Coleman creates her own space and then rips that left-footed shot. We've seen a couple right-footed lasers from her, a left-footed one there.
Yeah, the opportunity that Savannah Coleman had in the first half, zipping a laser in off the crossbar, nearly opened the scoring. About 35, 36 minutes into the game. Tagliaferri had a great opening opportunity after she stepped on as a second half substitute just a short time ago. Here she is on the ball, touching it inside here for Wiesner, trying to push it down to the end line. Surrounded by green jerseys. Initial ball cleared away. Can the U.S. win it back and keep it in this attacking third? No. Here's the goal scorer, Ovalle, just dancing with confidence now. Reyes will send it forward. Wonder if now with the equalizer coming for Chris Cuellar's Mexico side, does B.J. Snow look to his bench for another attack-minded player to bring in here for this final 16, 17 minutes of play? Maybe like Sophia Smith?
It's kind of interesting, though, because Everybody on this United States squad seems to be attack-minded. I mean, we've seen these outside backs getting in on the attack every once in a while, the center backs, the defensive midfielders. There aren't many players on this team that can't go forward.
Hernandez cutting back a second time onto her left foot and just tackled away by Naomi Girma. But an upcoming corner, number 4 for Mexico.
And again, United States doing a good job recovering defensively, getting the foot in at the last second. But Hernandez not afraid to take players on once again.
Delgado, the captain, to deliver corner number 4. The opposing captain, Ashley Sanchez, with the initial clearance there. And the U.S. finally get it out towards midfield. Into the final quarter of an hour here in the 2016 CONCACAF Under-17 Women's Championship Final. Two CONCACAF rivals at every single level, men's or the women's game, fighting it out for the right to put their hands on the trophy at the end of this one.
I agree, though, with the Sophia Smith. I mean, if nothing else, you also get a fresh pair of legs out there, in addition to a player that likes to take people on, draw the defender, and dish it to find her teammate.
Coleman will cut inside. Sanchez lets that run through for Tagliaferri. Could not hold on to it. Not sure if she was expecting the ball to come through.
Come through it or even dummy it herself. It looked like maybe she's going to let it run off that shoulder and spin around the defender, but Aguirre was right there off her line to pick that one up.
Rodriguez, good collection at the top of the 18, then tries to spray it out towards midfield. Howell wins the first ball. The U.S. with a chance to settle it back at the feet of their keeper, Laurel Ivory. Probably tested in this game almost maybe more than any other game so far leading up. She's played every minute in goal for the U.S.
Well, and if not tested with actual physical saves, she's had to be on her game positionally more than any match so far, as the ball has been in that third of the field more this game than probably all the other games combined.
By the way, the goal conceded by the U.S., just the 5th ever goal that they have given up in this competition now through 25 matches. Meanwhile, they've scored more goals over the course of the 4 and now 5th editions of this tournament than the next two teams, Canada and Mexico, combined. So to say it has been domination, but yet they've only raised the trophy 2 times. And looking to do it a third. Ivory will thump it long. Sanchez, Tagliaferri, wide now here for Coleman. Just one defender in Reyes to beat. Onto the left foot, bending ball. Not quite enough left to right on it, but it certainly gave Aguirre a moment to look to that far post.
When you could see, again, Coleman, the defender, has such a hard time. She doesn't know, is she going to go to her right or is she going to go to her left, because she's been strong in both directions. Kind of a sick feeling as a goalkeeper, isn't it, when you're watching that ball kind of float across your body and you see it bending in towards the far post.
So it is Kate Wiesner that will come off, and here indeed is Sophia Smith.
We'll see if Sophia Smith stays on that left side. I think she's actually going to be on the right. Seems where she's been almost every other time she stepped on the field in this tournament.
Probably moves Savannah Coleman out to the left side. Ashley Sanchez in the 43rd minute for the U.S. and Jacqueline Ovalle in the 70th minute for Mexico. That is where we stand now here, heading toward the final 10 minutes of regulation. Ivory didn't get a clean grasp of it, and so it trickles through after the left-footed shot from Montserrat Hernandez.
Well, and again, she's working against 2-3 U.S. defenders, and she was bending that ball inside that far post. It wasn't a real clean clearance by Avery. It was kind of like she tried to grab it and couldn't handle it.
Fifth corner now for Mexico. The U.S. to this point had only given up 3 in the group stage.
Oh,
that is mishit.
That is unfortunate because you do that work and the last thing you want to do is hit the ball out of bounds and not even give your team the chance to make a play on it. And they've had some good success of creating some issues there inside that 18-yard box.
So Laurel Ivory will set to put it back in play now for the U.S. Delgado won the first ball for Mexico. Ovalle sending it up and over the top. Intended for Espinoza. Rodriguez heads it wide for Izzy Rodriguez. Up top looking for Ashley Sanchez over her head, but a chance to maybe run onto it as Kimberly Rodriguez, the center back for Mexico, missed the initial clearance. Here's Coleman. Now Sanchez pulls it back through the first challenge. Sanchez playing it wide. Sophie Smith back in front. Frankie Tagliaferri still keeping it alive. Coleman back inside. Onside, no! The flag is up. Had to be very close, but the flag came up immediately against Ashley Sanchez.
Well, we'll have to take a look at that one again, but all of a sudden the Mexico team defensively looks, wow. She is about a step onside, at least from that camera angle. If not even, I don't know what the high five is there for, because it looked like she was onside from that camera angle. Didn't look like, you know, we're not perfectly even with that back line, but
honestly, the U.S. probably had 2, if not 3 different opportunities on that sequence, including one for Sophie Smith right here to just pull the trigger on their own.
Well, and there, Sophia Smith again trying to get in on the attack, doing what she does best, but that back line for Mexico all of a sudden looks a little slow, a little sluggish, trying to clear the ball. Slow getting out to force that offside, and the United States another opportunity here. Pretty much just like a corner kick on this right side.
Driven ball into the heart of the area. Coleman rising up to try and put a head to it, but she came body to body there with Miriam Aguirre.
Isn't that legal? I mean, you're the goalkeeper in this thing. That drives, I mean, doesn't that just drive, they're both going up, it's a 50-50 ball, and she doesn't even punch it. She tries to slap it out or catch it or something. Isn't that just a clean play? Don't you have to get up and play on after that?
It's like an NFL quarterback, you just can't really touch them.
I guess, even though they can come out and punch you in the head and not get whistled for it.
83rd minute of play. Spanstra just sending it out across into Mexico's half. Savannah Coleman trying to bring it down, and she finally does. Pinto, it's been quiet for her here in the second half.
Ooh, look at the space on this right side with Smith. She wanted that ball because Ovalle is trying to cheat forward for Mexico. You've got Sophia Smith trying to cheat forward on the opposite side. It's really going to be who can get them the ball, and they'll have some space.
Looking for some late heroics down here in St. George's, Grenada. Hernandez spins away from Rodriguez in defense. Now out wide. Lofted ball. Headed down. And now it's Sophia Smith with a chance to get her way out towards midfield. Too many touches there for Smith, and eventually Mexico able to step on the ball and win back possession. Jalen Howell. That's the big switch the U.S. have needed. Smith.
I think she would do herself a favor there playing it back to Pinto. She's at midfield with her back to the goal. Pinto, her teammate, was wide open behind her. Give it and get it back. Save yourself some work.
Tagliaferri lets it go with the right foot. Follow-up chance! And Coleman is denied on the doorstep by Ashley Soto.
She should be giving her teammates some high fives on these because Aguirre is giving up some bad rebounds. I mean, this one, Tagliaferri, a nice shot, a low-driven ball, but right out in front. Good job by the defense for Mexico, staying with that play till the end, deflection over the end line.
Corner number 6 for the U.S., their 5th of this second 45 minutes. It comes here in the 85th minute. Izzy Rodriguez will serve it in onto the back post. And again, it's Jalen Howell who just comes knifing through the area.
Just can't get over it. She's coming in flying. And that was a pretty driven ball, that corner kick. But just can't get over it enough to keep it under that crossbar. Pinto and Howell were right there to put a head on it. So good at using your body and shielding that ball.
Smith out in front, and there's your winner, possibly! Savannah Coleman! Scored the U.S.'s very first goal of the tournament against Jamaica, and she might have their last as well.
And Mexico's defense, I think they were caught sleeping. Look at 3 all goal side on the back line. Sophia Smith takes one look, nobody. Did they think Aguirre was coming off her line to get it? I don't know, but nobody tracked Savannah Coleman. I mean, there was a moment in time, a pause where Sophia Smith could take a look and pick out her spot. And look at the confusion there between Aguirre and her back line. Nobody. And I think what did she thigh that one in? It doesn't matter, it went in. 2-1 U.S.
It's her 4th of the tournament and her 6th at the CONCACAF U-17 Women's Championship. She had a pair back in 2013 for the under-17 U.S. side. And what a flash in front of the Mexico net, and then she buries it.
I mean, literally, Sophia Smith did a tremendous job using her body to shield the ball, get it down that right side, stops, takes a moment to look up, and you had 3.
As Mexico pushes forward here, and that chance off the left foot whizzes just over the bar. Luisa Delgado, Gabriela Juarez trying to connect with her left foot.
Same thing. She uses her body well. She's got 3 U.S. defenders right on her back there. Turns, finds a tiny little window of time.
I think there was a touch there from Ivory as well.
Oh, yeah. It's tough to tell from that angle. Right over the crossbar for a goal kick.
Laurel Ivory from the goal kick, pushing it all the way back into Mexico's half. Ashley Sanchez couldn't pull it down. Up and over the top now, and maybe is this the nail in the coffin? It'll go just wide. Tagliaferri looking for another one here to add to her standout substitute resume in this tournament.
And again, a flick over the top and another teammate running onto the ball. Tagliaferri tries to knock that one in. Aguirre well off her line.
Tagliaferri had the final goal against Canada in the semifinal. So she's got 5 total in the tournament. Mexico, the clock now becoming an enemy as time starts to dwindle away here in the second half.
frustration there by Espinosa, and unable to keep possession of the ball and make the turn she wanted to. Fouls Pinto, who comes back for the double team.
Clearance there from the U.S. as we're into the final minute of regulation. And the word from the sideline is 2 minutes minimum of added time here in the second half. Still plenty of time here for Mexico if they can try and find yet another equalizer. Larissa Delgado run off the ball as you see all hands on deck. Ashley Sanchez back there helping defend now here in these final seconds for the U.S. A little bit physical on the play there. It leads to a free kick chance now here for Mexico.
Avalle coming in. I think that's a good call by the referee. Too many bodies diving in as she's trying to cut through the defense.
Center back Kimberly Rodriguez will serve it. Headed away by the U.S. It's Jalen Howell there to initially win it, and now Sophia Smith will send it forward towards midfield. Ramirez lofts it back over the top. Naomi Girma wins the first ball and then pushes it out toward that far sideline. We are into 2 minutes minimum of stoppage time. That is what separates the U.S. from reclaiming the trophy here at the CONCACAF U-17 Women's Championship. A bit surprising that Chris Cuellar would even make a change and let time bleed off the clock here. Reina Reyes will step off. Veronica Avalos will step on.
Yeah, when you only had 2 minutes supposedly of extra time here, and you just wasted about 15-20 seconds.
Avalos immediately gets a touch, trying to head that ball back toward the U.S. goal. Up and over the top. And the U.S. will just clear it out toward the benches. Rodriguez pushes it right back in. Ovalle, the goal scorer for Mexico. Can she produce another moment of magic out in front of Ovalle? Looking for the corner, and she bangs it off the post. That's the chance that Mexico were searching for.
The post has been the United States' friend twice in this match. Unbelievable. Ovalle working her magic, 1v1, gets a lucky bounce, a deflection there as the U.S. tries to clear it, drops right at her feet, drills that near post.
And now just waiting for the whistle from Marie-Soleil Baudouin, the Canadian referee, as Laurel Ivory lines up the goal kick. And for the third time in the history of this competition, the U.S. women's under-17 teams are the queens of CONCACAF. BJ Snow getting the shower, and all Chris Cuellar can do on the other side is smile. You have to tip your cap to Mexico and the way that they played here tonight, as the two teams that finished 1 and 2 in Group B meet again in the final. And the late heroics of Savannah Coleman were the game winner. The U.S. win this competition again. More on the other side of the break.